Welcome everyone to Anonymous Addiction, My Truth About AA. I say that, but I really mean my truth about life, the world, and the universe. And this is as Bobby C. sees it, hosted by myself, Robert Bobby C. Sorello. Just to get this off of just to let the viewers know, I am not anonymous. I uh, don't believe in being anonymous. I don't have an addiction today to alcohol or drugs. 37 years ago, I made a decision and chose to say yes to help. And so I guess you could say I've been recovered, which I don't even like to use that phrase either. I've been recovered from this habitual problematic behavior 37 years ago. And I don't talk much about it today, but my podcasts are mainly about uncovering, recovering, and discovering the truth about ourselves. Alcoholics Anonymous and different societies, about life and about the universe. Now, I want to tell everybody, all my viewers and listeners, that I respect everybody's anonymity. Confidentiality is like the most important thing on all my platforms, all my social platforms, social medias. Uh, I respect that. I consider myself an expert in that field uh, because that's my life experience. 37 years I've been in the, let's just say, recovery industry community. So I want to get that out there. So this is Robert Bobby C. Sorello, and today this podcast is going to be about the Catholic Church, Matt Talbert, Alcoholics Anonymous, and Bill Wilson, and Dr. Bob. The similarities. We're going to talk about the similarities with the religious aspect of the Catholic Church. We know that's religion, and Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm going to go through a list of things and see if you can relate to it or add to it or whatever. If it if you can even relate to it. This podcast goes out to young people that are forced into rehabs, or you choose to go into a rehab, or you're placed in a rehab by courts. And we could talk about that. How's a church separation of church and state when the courts are sending you into a religion, which is Alcoholics Anonymous. That in itself is against the Constitution. So we're going to talk about the similarities of the Catholic Church, the religion, Matt Talbert, Alcoholics Anonymous, and Bill Wilson. Now, the Catholic Church promises their fellow followers and members. And let me just say that I was born into this existence. As soon as I was born, I was baptized. My mom gave me her Catholicism, so I had no choice. There was no freedom in that. My family thought they were doing the right thing, and they indoctrinated me into the Catholic Church doctrine. Uh, so I just want to say that, and I'm familiar with the Catholic Church. I did all the rituals, confession, Holy Communion. Like I said, I was baptized as an infant, and I did all the catechisms and went to church. Was actually forced to go to church until a certain age, when I started to be able to think for myself and say that this stuff isn't for me. So if you've never been, maybe you're atheist, secular, or you've never been into a religion, this is for you too, because when I'm talking about, if you're in Alcoholics Anonymous, you're really in a religion. Some people can disguise it and say it's spiritual, and I'll get into that. But this is for everyone. This is for people that are in Alcoholics Anonymous or 12-step programs, that maybe are questioning, thinking, questioning, observing, and becoming aware of certain things. This is for people that are thinking about leaving, don't know where to go. These podcasts give people alternatives where to go. I'm just checking the time out. What does it say? 5. It's 10 of 2. I have 40 minutes on this podcast. So, okay, the Catholic Church promises the members to the gates of heaven for afterlife. You know, you won't go to hell through fear, guilt, and shame. You will not go to hell. You'll go to the gates of heaven if you follow all these practices. Alcoholics Anonymous promises you will, by doing all these steps, you'll have a relationship on this earth. You'll be clean and sober, and the only cure from this disease is Alcoholics Anonymous. And if you follow the 12 steps, you will be happy, joyous, and free. Let's see. Matt Talbert. Getting back to Matt Talbert. If anybody never heard of Matt Talbert, he's going to be canonized as a saint by the Catholic Church. He's working towards it. He's vulnerable. He's in the process of becoming a saint. Just as Bill W. is a saint of Alcoholics Anonymous, Matt Talbert is a saint of servant devotion to the church. Let me talk about Matt Talbert a little bit. Matt Talbert retreat. Okay, this is what Matt Talbert retreat says. Though he has not yet been, oh, this is Matt Talbert. Okay, the retreat. What is a Matt Talbert retreat? We are a group of recovering alcoholics who have recognized the need for help from a power greater than ourselves. Sounds familiar? Well, I have a coin. They give out coins, and we'll talk about the coins that they give out. They give a coin out to every member. When you do a retreat, you get a number stamped on there. And during your death, you go and they'll ring a bell, and that'll be another number. So Matt Talbert can get towards the sainthood. We are tired of being belligerent, vindictive, intolerant, anxious, and fully of self-pity. We use Matt Talbert's spiritual retreat to seek solutions. We use the weekend to find out how to utilize the tools suggested in the 12 steps and 12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, here's the kicker. It says, however, we are not affiliated with AA or any 12-step program. They follow all they bring it to the retreat. They get you hooked up in Matt Talbert, the Catholic religion, Catholic Church. You have to see 2 films. You get your coin. You go in the retreat and you learn about the 12 steps, 12 traditions, and about God and the higher power. And plus, it'll cost you $250. Now, there's thousands and thousands of these Matt Talbert retreats. Okay. Let me just talk a little bit about, because I don't have to talk much about Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill W., Dr. Bob, because we all know. You could just Google and find out the history of Alcoholics Anonymous, or if you're you're learning about the history. Okay, so here's Matt Talbert. Matt Talbert, the word Matt Talbert spread quickly because he became an icon. He was the icon he was the patronage icon for an alcoholism addiction. Okay. Matt Talbert, through his canonization process in the Catholic Church, he was in 1884. He was 28, and he took the pledge. He was 28 when he took the pledge. The pledge is just like us having a desire to stop drinking. We take the pledge in Alcoholics Anonymous when we say, my name is Bobby C. I'm an alcoholic, which I'll never say again. I don't say that in meetings. He took what he called a pledge. And after he took the pledge, and through his drinking career, he was a drunk, and he made amends. When he took the pledge, he went out and said prayers. He went to church. He read religious books. He repaid his debts, made amends, and the whole thing was to service. And October 3rd, 1975, Pope Paul V declared Matt Talbert to be vulnerable, and that set him up for the canonization of sainthood, the Roman Catholic Church. It's the same with Bill W. We make him a saint. We turn him into saints. You know, So you got God and Jesus, then you have Bill W. and Dr. Bob. We have God and the higher power, you know, control the members. We control the members on both sides. We have meetings in churches, you go to church. The Catholic Church has Bibles, 10 Commandments. We have the big book, the steps. The church has the priest, confession amends. We have sponsors, the 4th step and the 8th and 9th step amends. Catholic Church has prayers. Alcoholics Anonymous has the 7-step prayer, 3rd step prayer, 11-step prayer, which is a Catholic St. Francis of Assisi's prayer, Serenity prayer. We say the Lord's Prayer after every meeting. We have study groups. They have Bibles. The Catholic Church has the Vatican. If you've ever been to the Vatican, I've been to the Vatican. And it's a whole nother society, a whole nother government. It's its own government. It's its own society. That's where all the archives are. And the same with Alcoholics Anonymous. They have the World Service Inc., which is their Vatican. That's World Service Inc. That's where everything is. Just to symbolize something else, 12, 12, and 12. 12, 12, and 12 is very symbolic in the Bible. 12 sons of Jacob, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 apostles, 12 gates to guided by 12 angels. It signifies perfection. 12, 12, and 12 signifies perfection of government or rule, represents authority, appointment, and completeness. 12, 12, and 12 signifies God and heaven. And 666 supposedly represents the devil and hell. So why I'm saying 12, 12, and 12, that's why we have 12 steps in Alcoholics Anonymous, which controls the members' body, mind, and spirit. The 12 traditions, which controls and protects the groups. And the 12 concepts, which controls and protects the world organization. So 12, 12, and 12 is very symbolic with Alcoholics Anonymous and with the Catholic Church, Matt Talbert. Now, like I said, I was in Alcoholics Anonymous for over 30 years. I didn't go every day, but I was a member of Alcoholics Anonymous for over 30 years. And early on, they kind of promoted me to go to Matt Talbert. And I went, and this podcast isn't trying to badmouth Matt Talbert or even Bill Wilson or Dr. Bob. It's to show the viewers and the people that are forced or go into Alcoholics Anonymous or 12-step programs that the programs are religious. They use spirituality. Even the Matt Talbot retreats say it's non-denominational. It's at Catholic churches, though. It's non-denominational, promoted by the Roman Catholic Church. It's non-denominational, and it's spiritual. So I found out that Alcoholics Anonymous and Matt Talbot hijacked the word spirituality, kind of to disguise it so it didn't seem like religion. Look, people that are in Scientology or came out of Scientology, they can understand the cult mentality. People in the some of the Latter-day Saints, Mormons that were in and came out, they can understand what I'm talking about, the cult mentality. So there's so many different cults and cult mentalities that I'm doing these podcasts because I'm trying to help send a message to the next generation, without labels, trying to so they don't have to be called alcoholic, so they don't have to be called powerless, so they don't have to say that if you don't work the 12 steps, you will surely die, go to jail, or end up in prison. Um, with all the symbolic messaging, they use repetition. Repetition is the mother of skill, or it can be the mother of brainwashing. So I'm here just to give some information to people. So check out Matt Talbert. He's going to be canonized as a saint because people from Alcoholics Anonymous are told to go there. They get their coin. We're talking about the coin. With Alcoholics Anonymous, we get a coin celebrating our year in sobriety. That's another mechanism to tie you and to bondage you to the group. And Matt Talbert gives out the coin. Alcoholics Anonymous gives out the coins. And, the cult is a social group that is defined by its unusual religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs, or by its common interest in a particular personality, which is Matt Talbert, Bill W., Dr. Bob, objects, which are coins, and goals, which are a lifetime devotion. Alcoholics Anonymous, that you give your will and your life and your care over to Alcoholics Anonymous for the rest of your life, and you're devoted to go out and recruit others for life. And that's the same thing with the Catholic Church. I was in the Catholic Church, and there's a lot of different sects from the Catholic Church. And there's a lot of different ways that they go out and try to turn people into Catholics. So this is Bobby C. Robert, Bobby C. Cirillo. And the reason why I say as Bobby C. sees it, because I used to go to Alcoholics Anonymous as Bill sees it meetings, and I didn't relate to none of it as Bill sees it. So I coined myself as Bobby sees it. They didn't like that. My friends didn't like it. What are you going to do it your way? You got to do it, work the steps. And another thing is, osmosis is like a gradual assimilation into the belief system. You get this thing osmosisly just sitting in a meeting. And these steps, these 12 steps, they want you to believe that after the 12 steps, you have a spiritual awakening. Well, first of all, what I recognized was that I had my first spiritual awakening years before I came into Alcoholics Anonymous. And then I had another one when I said help. I said yes to help. They were, as I can look back and see, that they were spiritual awakenings. But what happens is people hijack this word spirituality and they turn it into, they don't, because a lot of people are steer away from religions. So they want to tend to keep it, say it's not religion, it's spirituality. So I just want to pass that message on. So the young kids, the next generation or the generation after that, don't have to raise their hand and say, I'm an alcoholic. So I don't have anonymity. I don't need it today. I'm not hiding from nothing. 37 years ago, I had a problem with alcohol and drugs. Today, I don't. Today, I'm in recovery from society, from the world, from myths and lies and manipulation. That's what I'm in recovery from today. So thank everybody for joining me today. I hope you listen. Don't forget to subscribe and come over to our private group, Anonymous Addiction, at My Truth About AA, as Bobby C sees it, Bob private group on Facebook. And then there's a link down here on Linktree to all the my social media platforms. So come join us and check out the other podcast with Joey C and myself, Bobby C, on Alcoholics Anonymous Deprogramming Podcast. This one here, we're going to do some deprogramming, we're going to do some reprogramming, and then we're going to create our own programs, in this podcast, which we do on the other one too. But you can check us out over there, and that's on YouTube, or come subscribe to Anonymous Addiction on this channel. So thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And stay tuned for the next podcast. Take care, everyone.